not excuses.
Yeah, welcome in. Timing some rounds of rainy rumblers. Some rain and storms will be possible for the next couple of days. Low of 44 yesterday in Charleston, a little below average and warmed up to 82. Average high is 73. Rain and storms likely playing out still for the morning drive. Rain jacket weather, slow your roll on the roads out there, especially with some of those thunderstorms to start the day. Chance for a few showers, slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon. And then showers and storms becoming possible to likely again tomorrow, maybe as soon as the morning. General thunderstorms for our state today. The Storm Prediction Center for the next round tomorrow, including most of the state in one of those marginal risks of severe weather. Marginal for Wednesday means isolated severe storms possible, and in this case, an isolated damaging winds or a brief tornado potential is technically possible as well. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Atlanta, multiple rounds of rain and storms. Washington, D.C., 66 today. Tampa heating up near 92. From Panhandle to Panhandle, we got rain and storms likely this morning. Chance this afternoon, highs in the low to mid 70s. And a chance of our next round of rain and storms late overnight and tomorrow morning with lows in the 50s. Out east, rain and storms likely this morning, then a chance this afternoon, and then becoming more likely again sometime waking up tomorrow morning into our Wednesday. For west to east areas, generally drying as the day goes on from west to east, but still be mindful of a chance of showers and storms, and goes likely again tonight into tomorrow morning with that risk of an isolated severe storm. For today, highs range in the mid-60s to near 80. Huntington near 80 today. We'll see a lot of 70s in between here and lows in the 50s overnight. So a slight chance of a shower and storm this afternoon, then likely on Wednesday. Isolated severe weather, high near 71. And then second half of the week, late Thursday and Friday, another chance of some showers and thunderstorms.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
Coming up this morning, MetroNews Talkline. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are pouring into the primary election here in West Virginia. Also, a vigil and a protest held for John Lucas in Kanawha County. We'll get to that, plus more candidates who will be on the ballot May 12th. This is MetroNews Talkline, and we are underway.
Not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson here in Morgantown. TJ Meadows is in our Charleston Bureau. Gang's all here, ready to go on a Tuesday. We've got Ethan Collins handling the audio side of things. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, Jake Link handles the video stream. You can watch this program over on the MetroNews Television app, Facebook Live, YouTube. Let me know, does the new background make me look thinner, more svelte? 800-765-TALKS, the phone number, 800-765-8255. The text line is 304-TALK-304. Coming up a little bit later on, Chris Pritt will join us. He is a Republican running for the state Senate in the 17th District. That's down in Kanawha County. We'll talk to him. Dan Greear, running for election to the State Intermediate Court of Appeals. Also tell you about a cool program going on at West Virginia Wesleyan. Lots to get to this morning. Good morning, TJ Meadows.
Good morning. You think Jared Halpern in D.C. at the White House today is going to get to meet the king?
We will ask him about 15 minutes from now. That'd be cool. Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool to meet the king?
I mean, I've never met a king. I've never met a queen. I would probably have rather met the queen if given the opportunity than the king, but I mean, hey. I'll take it.
I would take that opportunity. Have some tea and crumpets with the king. Okay, probably not that, but would be cool. Cool gesture. Halpern will join us coming up just a little bit. Also, Tonya J. Powers, second hour, with the latest on the legal situation regarding the would-be assassin at the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday night. But we begin here in West Virginia. The May 12th primary election is 2 weeks from today, and hundreds of thousands of dollars have already poured in from outside interest into campaigns. In fact, well over $1 million. We're going up toward $2 million pouring in from PACs across not just West Virginia, but outside of West Virginia for these races. It is getting heated. It is getting bruised, and Amelia Knisely from West Virginia Watch is covering all of it. She joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Amelia, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing well. We've been talking about this money that is coming into this primary election, outside interest groups, political action committees. You write about this morning at West Virginia Watch. As you dug into it, what was your takeaway?
I know this has been a topic that you all have been discussing a lot, but I started calling senators and candidates just to kind of say, I honestly asked them all the same question off the bat. What stands out to you about this primary? Because it just feels different. And it was not only the out-of-state money coming into the races, but particularly the governor's involvement in it. And that's, of course, something you guys have already discussed, but kind of looking into it, I was kind of surprised at the bold quotes that I got from current senators who said things like, look, this is a governor who's not from West Virginia. He's going to New York, to California, to New Jersey to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars out of state. What promises is he making them on our behalf? And then other quotes of, I cannot be bought. I'm not going to sell out to the governor to stay in my Senate seat. So I think that mix of the out-of-state money with the governor's hand in it really stood out to me because that's what candidates were talking to me about.
Does this all boil down for voters whether or not they want to see Governor Morrissey's agenda flourish at the State House? Because it all seems to be moving that way. You're either pro-Morrissey or you're not. You're either his candidates or you're not.
Yes, I think so. And I think it's important to note, let me say this too, that outside money is on both sides of those Senate factions, right? It's not just the governor's candidates, but I think that's more the governor inserting himself is notable, right? But I think it is coming down to that. And this is a governor who did not overwhelmingly win. He did win, right? But I think he won with what? Was it 30-some% of the vote? I'm sure you all know.
32.
Yes, 33. Like that sounds right. And so it is a calculation. It is a risky calculation to do this and to insert yourself, and we'll see how he fares in a couple of weeks. I think there are lots of issues that you might say are a Morrissey issue, but it wasn't talked about that much this year, but I think vaccinations are a part of that campaign and school choice. And so I think that's really a dividing line, too, for these factions.
Amelia Knisely is joining us on loan from West Virginia Watch this morning. Amelia, is more of the money coming in to support candidates, or is more of the money coming in to oppose candidates?
It looks like, based on what my research showed, and then, Brad McElhenney, Stephen Adams, they've really been digging into this. It looks more like it's to oppose candidates. And I think that's notable, and we've seen some pro-school choice groups come out against sitting senators who, by the way, have voted in favor of school choice, but they're maybe not as anti-public school or maybe not as far down the school choice movement as some of the Morrissey faction is. Honestly, I find it all, I'm just going to be honest with y'all, I find it very hard to describe these factions because these are all very conservative Republicans. Like, I almost decline to talk about it because I'm scared I'm going to offend someone in the Republican Party, because it's not that I don't see the factions, but they all are conservative Republicans. I don't know if y'all feel the same, but it's difficult to try to explain it to people.
I wanted to move in specifically to a quote here from Vince Dietz. I mean, in my mind, he upped the ante here. You know what I'm talking about. I can hear it in your voice already. So take it from there. Describe what he said and your reflection on that.
So Vince Steeds, let's just set the stage here. Vince Steeds is a pastor. He's soft-spoken. It's difficult to find a photo of him speaking on the floor because he just measures his words carefully. But when I asked him about the governor outright endorsing his opponent, Jonathan Comer, also a pastor, he said, the governor wants me to completely 100% agree with him on policy initiatives, but bluntly, I cannot do that. I will not give up my vote for the Morrisseys. I can't be bought. I can't be bullied. And he went on to say how he, his tactic is to take this out-of-state money and try to push people around in the legislature. That was a quote that I really just stood out to. When you're a reporter, you do an interview and you're like, zing, great quote, going to use that one. So that really stood out to me.
Amelia Knisely joining us from West Virginia Watch. And Amelia, to your point about the factions, we really like in this business to be able to very neatly put you into a category. You're a conservative Republican, you're a progressive Democrat, you're a radical right, you're far left, whatever the case may be. It's very hard to do this because, A, I don't know how you define what a true conservative is, although we will attempt to do that. But also, there are certain issues that kind of divide the school choice. If you happen to question whether or not Hope Scholarship should have guardrails, you're suddenly anti-school choice. If you question should there be some, what should be vaccination laws, suddenly now you are, you're not an anti-vaxxer, but you get pigeonholed just by bringing up the question. So it is very hard to try to figure out what the factions are, although we know they're there. That's what we do know.
Yeah, and I would notably say, I heard Chris Pritt coming on your show and interviewed Chris, always a nice guy to interview. And I said, Chris, what's your campaign? What are you campaigning on? He said, tax cuts and economic development. His opponent, Tom Takubo, is also campaigning on economic development and touts tax cuts on his website. So then I asked Chris, so why are the mailers focused on social issues, transgender issues, men and women's sports? He's like, well, these groups are allowed to say whatever they want. It's their First Amendment right. And so when you talk to these candidates, they're really, at least in that particular race and in the Deeds race as well, they're not talking about a lot of the issues that we've seen outside groups put on mailers. But unfortunately, that's what the election has focused on, and I think is probably what voters are going to be thinking about when they go to the polls. But the candidates themselves aren't that far off on their goals of winning more jobs in West Virginia.
Speaking about the mailers, and I agree with Pritt, those PACs, those organizations, they have a First Amendment right. They can say what they want to say. The law also says the candidates cannot interact with those PACs, with those certain organizations. However, there is no law that would prevent one of these candidates from saying, I don't endorse what that PAC is saying. I've been following this. I'm yet to hear any candidate who has received a lot of this PAC money from these Morrissey-tied PACs do that. Am I correct? Has anyone stood up and said, I don't endorse what this guy is sending out about my opponent?
Not that I've seen, no. I have not seen that.
Amelia Knisely on loan from West Virginia Watch. You can read her work over at her website, westvirginiawatch.com. Amelia, always a pleasure, and we'll check in before Election Day. 2 weeks from today. Yeah. I know you have it marked on the calendar.
I just have to laugh because, as you all know, we cover the legislature with the fewest amount of women, and nothing is more true than this season of, our job is just listening to men. We're just out there listening to men fight with each other. And that's what we're doing for the next couple of weeks. So,
Amelia Knisely. All right, we'll check in again before the election, maybe election night. Who knows if we get bored.
Yes. Bye, y'all.
All right. Thanks, Amelia. We appreciate it. Amelia Knisely, West Virginia Watch. Read her article over at westvirginiawatch.com. Coming up, Jared Halpern will check in, Fox News Radio. He was at the hotel Saturday night. We'll get an update from Jared. Plus, the King of England is in the U.S. today. King Charles visiting with President Trump. We'll get an update from D.C. when we return. Just getting started. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
Welcome back, class of 2011.
Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it.
Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life!
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
5, 3. For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Text line 304-TALK 304. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Jared, good morning, and take me back to Saturday night. When did you go from bystander back into reporter mode on Saturday?
It was pretty early on in the evening. I had been at the hotel for some pre-receptions. I was having dinner, not in the ballroom, actually, at the official dinner, but upstairs, getting a bite, and I was going to head out to a couple of post parties when obviously things became much more chaotic, kind of scrambling on the phones, trying to make sense of what was happening. And then as the president announced that he was going to address the country, have a news conference in the White House, I made my way from the Hilton to the White House. Took a little bit longer than it ordinarily would. It's only about a mile or so away, but as you can imagine, there's some street closures and kind of a pretty healthy jog down Connecticut Avenue in a tuxedo and uncomfortable shoes.
Well, that must have been something to see in and of itself. Maybe there'll be some photos that pop up of you, Jared. You never know. Let me ask you about this. Some reporters we've spoken with who were there have said security was a little loose. I just had to flash my ticket. Nobody checked me after that. Is that a fair characterization or no?
It is, but it's also not unusual. I've been to this dinner 12, 13 times. And so the way that it works, the Hilton, for those who have not been there, is a very big hotel. That is why it has hosted this dinner for decades, going back, I think, to the 70s, maybe before that. It hosts a lot of big events in Washington. The First Lady had an event there a few days earlier, in fact. So it is a hotel that is very large, but one that the Secret Service has a really good understanding of. And the way that security has worked with this dinner and in previous dinners is sort of they shut down road traffic in the immediate vicinity of the hotel, and you need either a ticket to the event or show that you are a guest of the hotel to access the hotel. But you don't actually get the Secret Service screening, kind of the TSA airport-style screening, until you are much, much closer to the ballroom. And that is because there are a lot of other events going on there. There are guests at the hotel. As I said, I went to some pre-parties. Those were both at the hotel, but not on the same level as the ballroom, and so there was not a lot of security sort of in and around the event.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern joining us. Jared, what are officials in D.C. saying? Is this a security failure or a security success?
Well,
or
the
both?
president has said that. I mean, I think it can be viewed as both because, listen, where the Secret Service sets up the perimeter, which is a floor above the ballroom, kind of as you make your way down the staircase to where the event takes place, that is where they intercepted the suspect. So from that sense, it was a success. They had a perimeter, a security protocol set up, and it was not breached. There was not a threat that made it into the ballroom, into where the president and the vice president and many cabinet officials were. Obviously, it is raising questions about access to the larger building. There have been a lot of questions about what if this had been a larger kind of threat, what if this had been a group of individuals. So I do think that there will be a review, certainly by Secret Service, by the White House. We know that there was a meeting that took place here yesterday talking about that. That being said, the Secret Service generally does not detail the steps that it takes to protect the president or its protectees, and they oftentimes remind reporters and members of the public that security meant seen and unseen. So whether or not this creates a different kind of footprint for the Secret Service, I think is one that remains to be seen, but also may not be one that is kind of broadcast or announced by the agency.
Jared, the King and the Queen in D.C., what are the goals for the White House with this visit? What are the goals for the Brits?
I think the goals for the Brits are more high stakes than they are for the White House. This is kind of a return invitation. If you recall, I think it was last year, President Trump was invited to Buckingham Palace and had a state dinner with the King and Queen. And so this is inviting them to come to the White House. But from the British standpoint, this is a significant diplomatic overture. President Trump has been very critical of the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, for not joining the war effort in Iran over tariffs, over trade. Has a much better relationship, the president does, with King Charles. And so I think this is a opportunity for the British to kind of put their best foot forward and perhaps remind the president, remind the administration that this is a partnership and a relationship that has transcended politics, transcended presidents and prime ministers.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern reporting from Washington, D.C. Will you get to meet the king? That is our question today. Will you get an opportunity to meet him?
I don't think so. Unless I run into him at Starbucks, I don't think I'm going to get that close to him. But I actually have a press pass from his wedding to Queen Camilla. I was an intern at NBC News in their London bureau, and have a press pass from Windsor Hill across the street from where the ceremony was. So maybe that's my in. Is that the coolest press pass you have in your collection? I've got one from the Vatican, too, which is pretty cool because it's in Latin. That's not bad. It's not bad to put in a frame somewhere, Jared, at all. They are, yeah. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern from D.C. Always appreciate it, Jared. Thanks for the update. Sure thing. Yeah. Later, we'll talk to Tonya J. Powers. We'll get the latest on the legal proceedings involving the would-be assassin from Saturday night. She'll join us coming up second hour of the show. A little bit later on this hour, we'll tell you about a program at West Virginia Wesleyan. It's far out there. How's that for a little bit of a tease? That's coming up. Your comments as well. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Yeah, welcome in. Timing some rounds of rainy rumblers. Some rain and storms will be possible for the next couple of days. Low of 44 yesterday in Charleston, a little below average and warmed up to 82. Average high is 73. Rain and storms likely playing out still for the morning drive. Rain jacket weather, slow your roll on the roads out there, especially with some of those thunderstorms to start the day. Chance for a few showers, slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon. And then showers and storms becoming possible to likely again tomorrow, maybe as soon as the morning. General thunderstorms for our state today. The Storm Prediction Center for the next round tomorrow, including most of the state in one of those marginal risks of severe weather. Marginal for Wednesday means isolated severe storms possible, and in this case, an isolated damaging winds or a brief tornado potential is technically possible as well. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Atlanta, multiple rounds of rain and storms. Washington, D.C., 66 today. Tampa heating up near 92. From Panhandle to Panhandle, we got rain and storms likely this morning. Chance this afternoon, highs in the low to mid 70s. And a chance of our next round of rain and storms late overnight and tomorrow morning with lows in the 50s. Out east, rain and storms likely this morning, then a chance this afternoon, and then becoming more likely again sometime waking up tomorrow morning into our Wednesday. For west to east areas, generally drying as the day goes on from west to east, but still be mindful of a chance of showers and storms, and goes likely again tonight into tomorrow morning with that risk of an isolated severe storm. For today, highs range in the mid-60s to near 80. Huntington near 80 today. We'll see a lot of 70s in between here and lows in the 50s overnight. So a slight chance of a shower and storm this afternoon, then likely on Wednesday. Isolated severe weather, high near 71. And then second half of the week, late Thursday and Friday, another chance of some showers and thunderstorms.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me
a great point. Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Couple of texts in here. 304-TALK 304 is the text line. Phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. We'll visit with Chris Pritt coming up top of the hour, one of the state Senate candidates in the West Virginia 17th District. He'll join us 11:06. Dan Greear, 11:33, running for election to the State Intermediate Court of Appeals, will also join us this morning. Text line 304-TALK 304. TJ, when you were talking about meeting the king, did you say you would be a gesture or a jester? Asks the texter. See what
Very nicely done.
See
Very nicely done.
304-TALK 304. TJ, UAE leaving OPEC? Question mark. Saw that headline this morning, but I didn't read much. I didn't read the article. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've read through it a bit. I'm still learning about it. But if you're the United Arab Emirates and Iran is bombing you, why do you want to be in OPEC with them, right? And they've got a lot of the sway when it comes to OPEC. So that's going to be big. And does this transition into a trend? Are some of the other friendly Arab countries, Qatar, the Saudis, et cetera, on and on and on, will they come over and form some new group? So then do you have Iran on an island by itself? Does that further align them with China or Russia? How does that work geopolitically? I mean, this thing is going to ripple through. And so we'll dive into it, and I'll read more, and maybe we can get a guest or two to understand it. But it's definitely very significant that this is happening.
304-TALK 304 is the texter. This just texter says, I like her. I assume he means, or she means, I don't know who the texter is. I assume that means Amelia because it came during Amelia's interview. Yeah, we like her too. She's all right.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
304-TALK 304. Let's face the facts, guys. The governor and his henchmen think the majority of our citizens who vote, less than 30% will vote, are not smart enough to research candidates and all the money that's being spent to oust true West Virginians. TJ, you can buy an $895 golf simulator on Amazon. Yes, this approved to be paid for with no hope funding. School choice at its best, improving our students' parents' golf games, says the texter.
That was approved?
Says
Somebody
the texter.
actually bought one, says the texter? Yeah, that shouldn't be. And as much as I love golf, buy him a bucket of balls and go to a range for PE. You don't need to buy a whole golf simulator. And, the more I think about this Morrissey thing, and I'm calling it that because that's what it's really going to come down to. With all of the different races and everything, there's two things. You either like the governor and what he wants to do, and you want him to be able to do it, so you put his folks into the legislature, or you don't, and you vote the other way. And West Virginia is retail politics. So outside of the issue, outside of the vision, you either believe he's a West Virginian, and I'm not talking about where he lives. He obviously lives here. You either believe his values are West Virginian or they're not. That's what matters to people in a retail politics state, and I think that's what this all boils down to.
304-TALK 304, the text line at 800-765-8255, the phone number. Yesterday afternoon, family and friends of John Lucas, the man who was killed after he was run over by a Kanawha County ambulance earlier this month, gathered outside the Kanawha County Courthouse and public safety buildings demanding justice. The group gathered yesterday afternoon holding signs that read, "Justice for John." Lucas was killed back on April 16th in Elkview after authorities say he jumped in front of an ambulance and was struck as the crew drove away from the scene. Family and friends are now calling for the two employees of the Kanawha County Emergency Ambulance Authority to face criminal charges in connection with his death. Lucas's niece, Haley Harvey, says he was a wonderful person through and through.
He was kind, compassionate, giving, forgiving, one of a kind, a true one of a kind person that genuinely followed our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and loved each and every one of us as he loved himself.
She says it's great to see the amount of support they've seen since the accident.
The amount of people who this has touched, and just the amount of people who are speaking up for justice and righteousness, the bravery of these people, it is something that is, I could have never imagined it. And it was because of who John was that made these people feel this way.
Friend of John Lucas, Kristen Kinder, also was at the protest. She says he helped her in her time of need.
He instantly began helping me. He took the shirt off his back and wrapped it around the sickest puppy, the one that was literally dying on me. and left that shirt around that puppy until he had us in heat on the road and on the way to the vet.
And another friend of John Lucas says she wants him to be remembered for his selflessness.
Being a light in the dark, being a light while I was being overlooked, and being brave.
Initial reports included statements from the 2-member female crew that Lucas was allegedly lurking around the ambulance station in Elkview in the early morning hours and may have been in possession of a knife. Surveillance video in that area showed Lucas entering the roadway as the ambulance approached. The ambulance appears to have stopped, then moved forward, making contact with Lucas, who fell beneath the front of the vehicle. He was found critically injured along U.S. Route 119 and died a short time later. Last Tuesday, Kanawha County Sheriff's Office and the prosecuting attorney in Kanawha County, Deborah Rusnick, held a news conference to address the public about the incident. Rusnick said investigators were reviewing about 250 pieces of evidence. She also said initial reports might not include the full story. That investigation continues. Tragic accident that continues to be investigated there in Kanawha County, TJ. And look, we don't have all the evidence. Certainly we don't have the 250 pieces of evidence that the prosecutors are looking at, but we do have the video. We do have that surveillance footage to look at, and at best, there are a lot of questionable decisions that were made that night. Why was John Lucas at the ambulance station in the first place? Why weren't authorities contacted earlier when there was someone suspicious around? Why drive off? Why run over the guy? Why keep driving after he has apparently been injured? A lot of questionable decisions that were made by that 2-female crew working that ambulance station in Kanawha County that night.
And I think the first thing that we need to remember, what we saw last night and the sound we just heard from that peaceful protest, that's the way to do it. There have been threats here in Kanawha County against different individuals. We're a country of laws. We're not a country of street justice. So if you want to raise awareness of the issue, I applaud that. They did it well last night. They did it peacefully last night. Making threats against officials and EMS workers and various other tactics that have been employed and have been reported, that's no good. That doesn't do the departed any good. Certainly doesn't serve the cause. Certainly doesn't honor his memory. As far as the incident, you make some excellent points. I mean, I watched the video. The account differs in video from what was verbally expressed by those 2 people that were in the ambulance. It does not appear that Lucas jumped on the hood. It appears the ambulance accelerated and then continues to accelerate. Going 2 miles, as has been reported, with someone underneath the ambulance hanging on, you hear them. That is not the act of a reasonable person. Maybe they were frightened. Maybe they weren't thinking in the moment. These are all things that need to come out. But the point is, there needs to be an investigation. Clearly, there is an investigation. And we all need to allow the time for that investigation to take place so that they get this right. Have faith in the prosecutor. Have faith in the authorities. This isn't going anywhere, Dave. The awareness is very high on this issue. So we'll get to the truth. I think you have to let the investigation play out and go from there.
And the uncomfortable question that has to be asked, and I'm sure many of the folks who were at that protest yesterday were asking and are asking, is this being treated differently because it involves first responders? If Dave Wilson in his pickup truck had done the exact same thing that night, would I be sitting here or would I have already been charged with something? A man died that night.
A man died
that night, and this 2-female crew drove away. Would that have been treated differently if it were Dave and TJ in a pickup truck versus a couple of first responders? That's an uncomfortable question, but I think one that is fair and deserves an answer through this investigation.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree because the law doesn't care if you're Dave Wilson or the person driving the ambulance. It cares about the act that you committed. And so those questions, 1, should be asked. 2, they're fair. And 3, they need to be addressed. And if they are not addressed in the investigation, it will give people reason to further challenge the results of the investigation. So my hope is all 3 will happen. They'll be acknowledged, they'll be investigated, and they'll be fully investigated to the point where information can be shared and people need to understand what the differences were and why the course of action went the way it did versus a guy on the street that had committed a crime and ran someone over.
We will continue to follow this case and the investigation, of course, over at the website, wvmetronews.com. We'll change gears coming up in the next segment. Tell you about an out-of-this-world opportunity at West Virginia Wesleyan College. We'll do that right after this. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
When it's your family, your kids, your home, your parenting time, you want somebody on the Court of Appeals who lives and breathes family law. Even if you don't win your case, you still should feel that you've been heard. I'm Jim Douglas. I'm a family court judge, and I'm asking you to put real family court experience on the Court of Appeals for your future.
Paid for by the Committee for Family Law Experience for ICA. Susan Shepard, Chair.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greear Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greear began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greear Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greear Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
The region's largest restoration firm, responding from 5 locations. When disaster strikes your home or business, call Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
MetroNews Talkline continues from the Encova Insurance Studios. Earlier this year, Morehead State University Space Trek program, in partnership with TMC Technologies, announced that the West Virginia Space Trek program was launching its second year and expanding to West Virginia Wesleyan College in Buchanan. Of course, the 2026 program will take place in July, hosted on the West Virginia Wesleyan College campus. This morning, we have another announcement concerning the Space Trek program. Please welcome to MetroNews Talkline this morning, Joanna Webb, West Virginia Wesleyan Professor of Chemistry, and Martina Wood, who is a program manager for TMC Technologies and manages the West Virginia Space Trek program. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Martina, we'll kick it to you. What would you like to announce today in conjunction with the Space Trek program this year?
So we just want to make it known that it's being held at Wesleyan this year. We're really excited. I'm actually an alumni of Wesleyan, so we're really excited to have it here on this campus. It's a beautiful campus. The girls are going to have so much fun with their space mission that they're doing those 2 weeks in the program. And Wesleyan's just been a great partner in all of this. And Wesleyan has a really exciting announcement regarding the participation, the value that they're able to offer the participants in the program.
All right.
So,
Joanna?
Joanna. Yeah.
So Wesleyan, I think, is known for our strong STEM graduates, and we're so excited to have young girls come here and participate in this program that we would love to extend an offer of a scholarship if they apply and are accepted to Wesleyan, so a $2,500 yearly scholarship on top of our other academic scholarships and grants. So we hope that this is an exciting opportunity for the girls when they're here, and maybe that makes them want to attend Wesleyan.
Talk to us, Martina, about what young girls will learn at this program, some of the goals and outcomes that you expect.
Yes. So this program started in Kentucky. Jen Carter started it at Morehead State University. So the goal is to really get girls who are interested in aerospace engineering or just STEM in general, that have an interest in that but aren't really sure if that's something that they're capable of doing. And so it gives them this 2-week really immersed experience. And so they learn how to do things like solder, and they build these little devices at the beginning. They're called Jiggy Bots. They build these little robots, and so that kind of dips their toe into building stuff. And then they build this device called a Cricket Sat. And it's a little satellite-like device, and they attach it to a weather balloon, and we send them up on launch day. And so they go into the air, and they have a ground station that they point at the device, and so they monitor the data, they collect the data, and they put all of the data together and present a technical presentation at the end, just to present their findings. And so this really gives them a real hands-on experience, and gives them, an idea of what the industry will be like, what they'll be learning if they decide to go to college for that, and what kind of things they might do if they choose that as a career.
Martina Wood is a program manager with TMC Technologies. Joanna Webb, West Virginia Wesleyan Professor of Chemistry. Martina, parents are always worried about a cost when being associated with these types of programs. Is there any cost, or is that being picked up?
So we are happy to announce that the fees are being waived. We want to remove any financial barriers for any girl that wants to apply. So any girl that wants to attend this program, there is no cost associated. So that, hopefully will encourage people to apply.
How do they do that? Where do you go to apply? How many students will be accepted? Give us some of the logistics.
So we're accepting up to 24 participants. On the Morehead State University website, there's a spot for the Space Trek program that they can apply there. There's also a QR code associated there. If you go to the Morehead State University site, it has Space Trek West Virginia there, and you can click there and apply there.
And Joanna, why is this such a good partnership and for West Virginia Wesleyan to be involved in?
Man, I think there are so many reasons for this. We are centrally located, and so we're hopeful that this makes the program accessible to a lot of girls across the state. I also think Wesleyan is great at not only the STEM side of things, but critical thinking and problem solving and being able to communicate effectively, and that's something that our students need more than ever these days. So I'm just excited that they will have the opportunity to grow those soft skills on our campus this summer as well.
It is the 2026 Space Trek program, West Virginia Space Trek 2.0, as a matter of fact. It'll be at West Virginia Wesleyan College. That'll be July 12th through the 25th. And Martina, one more time, where can girls apply if they are interested?
If they go to the Morehead State University website, there's a Space Trek location there on the website, and it will take them to the Space Trek West Virginia application.
Martina Wood, Program Manager with TMC Technologies, manages the West Virginia Space Trek program. Joanna Webb, West Virginia Wesleyan Professor of Chemistry. Thanks so much this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Coming up, top of the hour, Chris Pritt is going to join us. He is running for state senate in the 17th district. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK is the phone number. Cruise into spring with the West Virginia Lottery's 40th anniversary celebration. There are 40 ways to win 4K and 4 cruise packages up for grabs. Play in-store and online and enter for your chance to win cash or a cruise. Details at wvlottery.com. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Back in a moment.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? Odd times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
.com.
Couple of reminders. Primary election 2 weeks from today. Early voting begins tomorrow. Election night, Metro News will once again provide unprecedented, unmatched, comprehensive election coverage. We'll get started election night 7 o'clock. We'll go to midnight and later if we need to. Hopefully not. That's coming up on election night 2 weeks from today. Metro News coverage of Decision 2026 will have statewide results and reactions throughout the evening. That's coming up 2 weeks. Coming up in 6 minutes, Chris Pritt, one of the Republicans running for state senate in the 17th district, will join us. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Welcome in. Timing some rounds of rainy rumblers. Some rain and storms will be possible for the next couple of days. Low of 44 yesterday in Charleston, a little below average and warmed up to 82. Average high is 73. Rain and storms likely playing out still for the morning drive. Rain jacket weather, slow your roll on the roads out there, especially with some of those thunderstorms to start the day. Chance for a few showers, slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon. And then showers and storms becoming possible to likely again tomorrow, maybe as soon as the morning. General thunderstorms for our state today. The Storm Prediction Center for the next round tomorrow, including most of the state in one of those marginal risks of severe weather. Marginal for Wednesday means isolated severe storms possible, and in this case, an isolated damaging winds or a brief tornado potential is technically possible as well. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Atlanta, multiple rounds of rain and storms. Washington, D.C., 66 today. Tampa heating up near 92. From Panhandle to Panhandle, we got rain and storms likely this morning. Chance this afternoon, highs in the low to mid 70s. And a chance of our next round of rain and storms late overnight and tomorrow morning with lows in the 50s. Out east, rain and storms likely this morning, then a chance this afternoon, and then becoming more likely again sometime waking up tomorrow morning into our Wednesday. For west to east areas, generally drying as the day goes on from west to east, but still be mindful of a chance of showers and storms, and goes likely again tonight into tomorrow morning with that risk of an isolated severe storm. For today, highs range in the mid-60s to near 80. Huntington near 80 today. We'll see a lot of 70s in between here and lows in the 50s overnight. So a slight chance of a shower and storm this afternoon, then likely on Wednesday. Isolated severe weather, high near 71. And then second half of the week, late Thursday and Friday, another chance of some showers and thunderstorms.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour, MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave in Morgantown, TJ in Charleston. Thank you for being part of our day. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the states, or if you're watching on the MetroNews television app, Facebook Live, YouTube as well, we appreciate it. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. You can text the show at 304-TALK-304. Dan Greear, bottom of the hour, will join us. He is currently on the West Virginia Intermediate Court of Appeals, running for, I guess, technically election, because he was appointed to that role back in 2022, a 4-year term. So he will join us coming up bottom of the hour. We'll get to your text, calls, and tweets as well. Tonya J. Powers will have the latest on the legal proceedings involving the accused would-be assassin at the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday night. I'm going to break I think it's called the fourth wall. Is Chris down there with you, TJ? Anybody in studio there with you by chance?
No.
Interesting, because that was the arrangement. So we will...
Let me go double check.
We will soldier on. Chris Pritt is scheduled to join us. He is running for West Virginia Senate and the 17th candidate down in Kanawha County. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. You can text the show, 304-TALK, 304. Oh, jeez. All right. I'm not doing conspiracy theories this morning. Hey, Dave, your first tease for the story, you used the term far out. I thought it was going to be about smoking weed, but your other tease sounded like it was going to be about space. Disappointing. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. No weed stories today. Maybe tomorrow. You never know what the news may bring. Joining us from the Charleston studios this morning, the Charleston Cova Insurance Studios, is Chris Pritt, a Republican running for the state Senate in the 17th District. He's a Charleston attorney and former House of Delegate member. Running as a Republican, campaign built on conservative agenda that includes tax elimination, election integrity, border security, and a strong emphasis on constitutional rights. That's my summarization of that. Chris joins us. Chris, good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Great to be with you today.
Appreciate you stopping by. So why decide to get in the race for state Senate against an incumbent candidate in the 17th District?
Sure thing. And again, thank you for having me. One of the things that I'm hearing out there from folks that I talk to in the 17th District is that they want us to move in a more conservative direction. That was the primary motivation for me getting in this race. Folks out there, conservatives out there, don't like the fact that we are not moving as aggressively in a conservative direction, that we could be doing a lot more to move the state forward, consistent with the policies of President Trump.
Give us an example of that.
Well, one of the things I think we could really be doing is we could be doing a lot more to cut taxes, okay? I think that taxes could be cut more. I think that there's a lot of talk about us, trying to take it at a bit more of a slower pace. I think we have more room to actually expand upon tax cuts. I think that's one of the things that we should be doing more aggressively. The governor came out with a pretty aggressive tax cut plan at the beginning of session. I agreed with that. And I think we need to be moving more in that direction.
Chris Pritt is joining us. He's running for state Senate in the 17th District. Chris, where do we find the room for the tax cuts when we have needs such as the foster care situation, 6,000 children in foster care? We have public schools that are closing across the state. The funding formula seems to need revamped. How do we reconcile those two issues, or those multiple issues at the same time?
Well, I think a lot of this can come from economic growth. I think that as we going into the future, I think that we can really focus on expanding the tax base. I think that's one of the things that we could do. I mean, the governor proposed a more aggressive tax cut plan. I think there was room for it in there, okay? And so I think that we can certainly fund all of those things that are necessary out there, but at the same time, I think there's always room for us to actually cut taxes more. I mean, I think one of the things that we're really working on right now is growing the tax base. I agree with a lot of what we're doing in terms of the state Senate and some ideas coming from there. I think that when we're talking about growing the pot in terms of the tax base, I think that's where a lot of it is going to come from. And I think that doing a little bit more of an initial tax cut, I think we have a way to do it that's actually going to spur the economy. And I think that's how we would do it.
I want to talk to you about economic development. Correct me here. I was trying to look at the record, so correct me if I'm wrong. You voted against or for Nucor?
I was one of the few that voted against it.
Okay. Would you vote in the future, because I think that's been a successful project, would you vote for a project like Nucor in your district, and do you support Team West Virginia in that concept?
Well, when it comes to, let's say, Nucor, for example, I had some reservations about that, okay? I had some reservations because, I mean, one of the things that we always have to there's several things we have to balance. We have to balance certainly property rights, okay, when it comes to any kind of economic development, okay? That's one of the things we have to balance. We have to balance, for example, making sure that we're not giving away too much to out-of-state corporations. That was a big part of my concern with that. And it looks like, I mean, I've looked into it a little bit more. I would be comfortable with any economic development to the extent that it's not going to come on the back of the taxpayers. I mean, I think that's one of the key differences that I have with a lot of the folks that are on the side of bringing in economic development and bringing in corporations at all costs. I mean, for example, anytime we're incentivizing people to come in here into the state of West Virginia, and we should be encouraging them to come, but at the same time, that should not come on the backs of existing taxpayers and existing businesses. We have to balance those two things. We have to balance bringing in new businesses, but at the same time, I mean, look, we could incentivize a corporation to come into West Virginia and say, you're not going to be paying taxes for 10 years. Okay, that's not right. That's not what we should be doing. That's not fair to existing businesses here in West Virginia.
Talking to Chris Pritt, he is running for state Senate in the 17th District. That is in Kanawha County on the Republican ticket in the May 12th primary. Chris, data centers continue to be both controversial and a point of economic growth, or at least state revenue growth in the future. Would you support increased development of data centers, And has the state legislature taken too much control away from local governments where these data centers are going to be developed?
Well, with regards to data centers, I think it can be done in the right way. But one of the things that we always have to do is we have to balance it with property rights. Like I was talking about before, we have to certainly balance the interests of the taxpayers. We also have to balance the interest of property owners. So yes, I mean, to the extent that we can do it in a way that's not going to adversely impact property rights, I'm all for data centers, okay? But we have to balance property rights. We have to balance the existing tax base. And I think it can be done in the right way, but we have to take into account the rights of the people who own the land.
Well, explain that to me with property rights, because if I'm the counterparty and I own 500 acres and I want to sell it to Google,
sure,
then there's no problem, right?
There's not. But for example, if we're talking about we're getting into water rights, for example, okay, a lot of times these data centers are having an effect on underground water sources. And so one of the things that we have to balance there, I mean, that affects property rights, okay? So if something's running below the ground and it's encompassing more than one piece of land, yeah, it could in fact impact the rights of people who are in adjoining lands. And I think we can be doing this in a balanced way, but we have to take into account the interests of everybody who could be impacted.
Talking to Chris Pritt, Republican running for state Senate in the 17th District in Kanawha County. Hope Scholarship has grown to a $300 million expenditure in the state budget. What, if any, guardrails are needed to control spending, control cost with the Hope Scholarship?
Well, I think that the Hope Scholarship has been largely a success. I mean, I voted for it when I was in the House of Delegates. I thought it was a great program. In terms of guardrails, look, I mean, the folks that are getting the money for the Hope Scholarship are taxpayers by and large. And if they want to send their children to a school of their choice, I think they should have a right to do that. That's one of the things that I think a lot of people are a little upset about right now, is the fact that we're not taking seriously the rights of parents to educate their children in whatever way they see fit. And so in that sense, I'm going to stand up for the rights of parents and students to be able to choose what education they find best for them.
Should I be able to buy equestrian lessons for my daughter with the Hope Scholarship monies?
Well, I don't know.
Those kinds of things?
Well, again, these are taxpayers and these are tax dollars. I think that I've not heard any reports about somebody attempting to use equestrian lessons in terms of that. But again, this is taxpayer money. These people are paying taxes. And I believe in the rights of parents to educate their children in whatever way they see fit.
Chris Pritt is joining us. He's a Republican running for state Senate, 17th District in Kanawha County. The legislature has taken up a number of controversial social issues over the last several years. Chris, what among them does the legislature still need to address to move in a more conservative direction, as you stated?
Well, I mean, I think we've done a lot in recent years to move in a more conservative direction. One of the things that is a key difference between myself and Tom Tacubo is our votes. Now, he has explanations for why he voted on certain things, but if we're talking about, for example, boys and girls sports, when that bill came up, I voted to ban boys from competing in girls sports. He voted against the bill, okay? So there are key differences there. He was the primary author of the amendment to allow puberty blockers. That's how we differ. Okay, so in terms of social issues, there's really key differences between the two of us. But in terms of social issues, I think we've made a lot of progress in terms of those. I think that certainly when it comes to this, sometimes when it comes to social issues, we don't know what we're going to be, what's going to come up at this point. I think we could certainly be doing more to protect life. I mean, it depends on how you're defining necessarily social issues. That's a really, really broad idea. So in terms of the issues, I think we could be doing more on a host of issues, whether it's life or if you count Second Amendment rights, just whatever you want to count within those confines.
Chris, there's a lot of money in this race. Look, PACs have a First Amendment right. They can say what they want to say. No one would challenge that. No one's challenging Citizens United. With that said, I also realize you as a candidate are not allowed to interact with those PACs. That would be illegal.
Yes.
With that said, I don't think there's any restriction of you saying, I don't support the messaging or I don't support what they're sending out about my opponent. So do you support those kinds of mailers and messaging? Do you have Do you want to distance yourself from it? What's your take on that?
Well, I would have to see a particular mailer to know about that. I mean,
Takubo's a Democrat. He was beside Pelosi and beside Biden, I think, was one.
Well, I would have to see I would have to actually see the mailer you're talking about to really comment on it one way or the other.
Okay.
Now, I do know this. There have been, on both sides, there have been things that have been put out there, okay? Not what you're talking about. I can't speak for
any
that
money.
mailer.
Yeah, any money.
Yeah. I mean, there's money spent on both sides. I had a really dishonest mailer put out against me by the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce, okay? So this mailer, one of the things I routinely did when I was in the House of Delegates is I would vote against the budget. I didn't do it every time, but if I thought there was waste, I would vote against the budget. They put out a mailer to say that because of that, I was voting against veterans. Okay, that was a really dishonest ad. Okay, I can speak to that. I can speak to the fact that there has been dishonest ads put out against me because I've seen it in my mailbox. So, and to the extent that there's money being spent on both sides, I think that happens. I think that's the nature of politics nowadays. People are going to get involved, and money is going to be spent. Every election that I've had up to this point in my career, I've had more money spent against me than for me.
Is it too much money? $2 million, I think we're approaching. I read this morning.
I don't know if that's the case. I haven't read that. But again, when it comes to a lot of these ads that are out there, it's people have a right to do it. Again, it's just look, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is I think the people are going to sort through whatever it is. They're going to look at the issues. I trust the voters. I mean, one of the things that I think is really, really great about primaries is the fact that we have what you and I would call high information voters. I'm sorting through it all. Okay, those are the type of people that are typically voting in primaries, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's good that we have largely high information voters who are voting. In terms of this, in terms of the issues, they're going to sort through this. They're going to get to the bottom of it, and I think that by and large the voters get it right.
Chris Pritt joining us, running for State Senate, 17th District in Kanawha County. Chris, why should Republican voters support you on May 12th?
Well, I'm the conservative candidate in this race. I've heard from individuals all over the district that they want us to move in a more conservative direction. We voted for Donald Trump and the Republican Party nationally greater than any state other than one, okay? And the voters that I'm talking to, they don't think that oftentimes their beliefs are represented in the state Senate. With me being in the West Virginia State Senate, that's what they're going to get. They're going to get a consistent conservative who votes consistent with conservative principles.
Chris Pritt, running for State Senate, 17th District in Kanawha County. Again, primary election day is May 12th. Early voting starts tomorrow, and we'll have comprehensive coverage election night across the Metro News Radio Network. Chris, we appreciate you coming in this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take a break. Be back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
I'm Tom Willis, running against Shelley Moore Capito for U.S. Senate. Sarah and I love raising our kids here in West Virginia. You're the best people in the world, and it has been my honor to serve West Virginia for 26 years in the West Virginia National Guard, including flood duties all over our great state, and now in the state Senate. Shelley has abandoned our West Virginia traditional Christian family values, is ranked as one of the top insider traders in the U.S. Senate, and instead of negotiating for West Virginia families, got her son appointed as DA. I'm Tom Willis, and I approve this message because it's time for a change, West Virginia.
Paid for by Tom Willis Victory.
Diabetic neuropathy is the most common complication of diabetes, causing burning, tingling, and stabbing sensations in the feet. The fellowship-trained, board-certified experts at the WVU Medicine Center for Integrative Pain Management provide spinal cord stimulation to treat this pain, using electrical pulses in the spinal cord to block pain signals. Visit wvumedicine.org/pain or call 855-WVU-CARE for an appointment.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Some relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. Fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
The rule of law protects our communities. Integrity protects our values. Conservative Justice Gerald Titus spent his career fighting for both. As a prosecutor, Titus took on criminals and traffickers. Now, as a justice, he applies the law as written, fairly and independently. Endorsed by law enforcement, he stands with those who protect and serve. Because when courts uphold the law, criminals are held accountable and communities are safer. For Justice Titus, it's personal.
I'm Justice Gerald Titus. I spent my career upholding the rule of law. I was born here, raised here, and now my wife and I are raising our family in West Virginia. We need judges who are fair and apply the law as written and protect the rights of all our citizens.
Vote to keep conservative Justice Gerald Titus on the West Virginia Supreme Court. Vote early or on May 12th. Paid for by Titus for Supreme Court.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greear Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greear began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greear Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greear Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Let's quickly get to Fox News Radio's Tonya J. Powers. Yesterday, the suspect in the shooting at the White House Correspondents Association dinner appeared in federal court. Tonya, good morning. What happened in the courtroom?
Hey, good morning. Well, it was a preliminary hearing. We knew that going in that Cole Allen was going to be charged with a couple of different charges. One of those was transporting a firearm and ammunition across state lines, and the other was discharging a firearm during the commission of a violent crime. Yesterday, the charge of attempting to assassinate a U.S. president was also added to that. That carries a sentence of up to life in prison if he's convicted on that charge. He also accepted the services of a couple of veteran public defenders, so that seems to be who is representing him at this point. He did not enter a plea. He is being held behind bars for the foreseeable future. He does have a detention hearing that is set for Thursday to probably get a little bit further into that matter.
Yesterday, during DOJ's press conference, there were questions raised about the bullet that actually hit that uniformed Secret Service officer, I believe. Any of the filings that have come since or prior to, do they address that? Do we have any clear indication of where that bullet came from?
Not at this point, not that I have seen. I have not seen anything to indicate one way or the other exactly who is the person who fired the shot that hit that Secret Service agent, whether it came from Cole Allen or came from someone else. They are, still, I guess, looking into that in addition to all of the other, parts of the investigation. FBI Director Kash Patel told Fox that the FBI has gained lawful access, that was his quote, to Allen's device that he had on him at the time, his cell phone. So they're looking for more information from that, as well as, whatever they found during the searches of his home in California, probably his hotel room there at the Hilton, and, of course, talking to friends, family, colleagues, and other people.
Fox News Radio's Tonya J. Powers with the latest on the accused would-be assassin from the White House Correspondents Association dinner Saturday night in Washington. Tonya, thank you for the update. We appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you.
Absolutely. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK. The phone number. Coming up after the news, we will talk to Dan Greear. He is running for the West Virginia Intermediate Court of Appeals, a relatively new position just created about, 4 years ago. We'll talk to him coming up. We'll get to your text as well. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. Those are the two ways you can interact and be part of this program. TJ in Charleston, Dave in Morgantown, gang's all here as usual. Jake Link running the video stream, and Ethan Collins is our audio producer this morning. Big shout out to those guys, the unsung heroes of MetroNews Talkline. Coming up, Dan Greear, Intermediate Court of Appeals. We'll meet him right after this. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Yeah, welcome in. Timing some rounds of rainy rumblers. Some rain and storms will be possible for the next couple of days. Low of 44 yesterday in Charleston, a little below average, and warmed up to 82. Average high is 73. Rain and storms likely playing out still for the morning drive. Rain jacket weather, slow your roll on the roads out there, especially with some of those thunderstorms to start the day. Chance for a few showers, slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon, and then showers and storms becoming possible to likely again tomorrow, maybe as soon as the morning. General thunderstorms for our state today. The Storm Prediction Center for the next round tomorrow, including most of the state in one of those marginal risks of severe weather. Marginal for Wednesday means isolated severe storms possible, and in this case, an isolated damaging winds or a brief tornado potential is technically possible as well. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Atlanta, multiple rounds of rain and storms. Washington, D.C., 66 today. Tampa, heating up near 92. From Panhandle to Panhandle, we got rain and storms likely this morning. Chance this afternoon, highs in the low to mid-70s. And a chance of our next round of rain and storms late overnight and tomorrow morning with lows in the 50s. Out east, rain and storms likely this morning, then a chance this afternoon, and then becoming more likely again sometime waking up tomorrow morning into our Wednesday. For west to east areas, generally drying as the day goes on from west to east, but still be mindful of a chance of showers and storms, and goes likely again tonight into tomorrow morning with that risk of an isolated severe storm. For today, highs range in the mid-60s to near 80. Huntington near 80 today. We'll see a lot of 70s in between here and lows in the 50s overnight. So a slight chance of a shower and storm this afternoon, then likely on Wednesday, isolated severe weather, high near 71. And then second half of the week, late Thursday and Friday, another chance of some showers and thunderstorms.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me too.
a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Speed is important. Security is essential. CityNet delivers both with high-speed, high-performance fiber and advanced cybersecurity solutions for your business. Visit citynet.net today. Remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects. Dan Greear is running for the West Virginia Intermediate Court of Appeals in Division 2. He was appointed to the court in 2022 by then Governor Jim Justice. The court was created, and it's handled about 1,800 cases in its first 4 years, with only about 18 disturbed on appeal. He is joining us now. Dan Greear, running for, I guess, is it election or re-election? I'm not sure which, but you're running for the seat you're currently in. Dan, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, and that's correct. I like your statistics there. You've done part of my job for me. I usually lead with those, but you've done your research. I appreciate that. But yes, I'm running for a full 10-year term after serving the initial 4-year appointment from Governor Justice at the time.
So, Dan, has the Intermediate Court of Appeals improved the judicial process in West Virginia?
Well, I'm probably incredibly biased, but I would certainly like to think so. You know, there was a couple of goals and things I think the legislature had in mind when they created us, and one of them was to help take some of the load off both the Supreme Court and the circuit courts, and we've done that. In those 1,800 cases that we've decided, anybody can appeal any of those to the Supreme Court. About 80% of the time they choose not to, and the cases are over. So in the 4 areas where we have jurisdiction, civil, workers' comp, family law, and administrative law, the numbers of appeals going to the Supreme Court in those areas has been reduced dramatically from about 47% to 76%. So literally, when you add all that up, hundreds less cases a year are going to the Supreme Court, and that's reflected in their statistics. An attorney here in Charleston, Tom Herney, did a study that was recently published where he looked at some of the time frames between a circuit court decision and a Supreme Court opinion, and those time frames are actually being reduced since the ICA was created, and I think that's at least in part because of the fact that we're deciding those cases, we're deciding them quickly, and we're taking them off of their docket and allowing them to get to other work and to do their work more efficiently. So in short answer to your question, yes, I think we have been effective in taking workload off of the Supreme Court and turning the cases around quickly, because we don't have the criminal cases, the abuse and neglect cases, and that kind of backlog that the Supreme Court has to deal with.
Dan, one of the questions that I've been asking any judge that comes on the show, I've been asking them about their manner of interpreting the Constitution. Are they an originalist? Are they a literalist? How do you apply interpretation of the Constitution, sir?
I would certainly classify myself as an originalist. It is not, in my view, the job of myself as a judge or other judges to force ideas, concepts into the Constitution that weren't intended to be there. We have to apply that document, whether it's our state constitution or the federal constitution, as it was originally drafted and intended. And if things need to be brought up to date or changed or modernized, there's amendment processes in place to do that. But I certainly don't believe it's the role or the province of a judge to enforce my own beliefs, my own opinions, and to insert that into the Constitution. So I would strongly consider myself an originalist in that regard.
Talking to Dan Greear, running for the Intermediate Court of Appeals here in West Virginia. What's the proper standard for a judge in a case where you involve former colleagues or former clients or people you have worked with or know in the past? What is the proper course of action for a judge when those cases come before the court?
Well, there's rules of judicial conduct. There's a code of judicial conduct that outlines that, and there's some very general broad statements in there about you don't want to have a reasonable appearance that there's some unfairness, and I'm certainly not quoting that verbatim, but there's a reasonableness standard that a reasonable person looking at this isn't going to perceive some problem, and then there's specific guidelines in there as well to deal with specific situations where you may have a family member that works or did work at a firm, but they're not directly involved in the case, and there's guidelines and standards there for when it's appropriate for the judge or justice to get out of the case or not. And in our system, all of us as whether it's circuit judges, intermediate court judges, we have an equal duty to settle on a case when we should settle on it as we do to get out of it when we shouldn't. And because of that, all those decisions are reviewed by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. So any case where I believe that my fairness could reasonably questioned, if I file a motion to get out of that case, that goes before the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. It's ultimately her decision then whether it would be appropriate for me to sit in that case or whether it would be more appropriate to have me replaced. But we do have that system in place. The parties can raise those issues as well on their own, and when any party raises that issue of the whether a judge should be disqualified, that judge is basically off the case until such time as the Chief Justice has an opportunity to rule on that issue. So certainly it's important, and legal cases should be decided based on the law and the facts, not on politics. And certainly we want to be able to avoid the perception that a legal case is becoming political or is a political case. And there are systems in place, in terms of the code and in the process of how that's evaluated to help ensure that West Virginians can be confident in their judiciary system.
Dan, there have been calls. I've heard speeches on the floor of the House and Senate. I've heard testimony in committee. Some legislators would like to go back to the way it used to be when we elected judges on a partisan basis. They have said that ideology cannot be separated from someone, that it's just not humanly possible, and that those that are voting need to know if they're voting for a Republican, a Democrat, an independent. We're nonpartisan now. As someone who has been around politics, as someone who has sat on the bench, I'd like your take on whether or not we should remain nonpartisan or go back to partisan races.
Well, I want to sit firmly on the fence on that one for you. But now, I've actually participated in judicial elections, both in a partisan basis and a nonpartisan basis. I was chief counsel in the House when we passed those bills that transformed it from partisan to nonpartisan, and quite frankly, there's arguments on either side, and I'm not sure either system is perfect, to be honest with you. And I can understand the reasons why people advocate both positions. Quite frankly, as a judicial candidate, as you all know, talking to all of us, there's not a whole lot we can say other than we'll work hard, we'll be fair, we'll apply the Constitution. So in terms of specifics, we don't have a lot of information to offer, and some would argue that party affiliation gives you some information. I will also say, this is sort of anecdotally, but the most common single question I get from people who don't know me on the campaign trail is, hey, what party are you? And you often respond by saying, hey, well, this is a nonpartisan election, and their response is, I don't care, what party are you? And I've sort of learned just to tell people eventually. I tell people early on because I know when they ask, they want to know. So I think that's a policy choice that the legislature makes. There's 50 different states have 50 different ways of selecting judges, and that may be a bit of an exaggeration, but there's a lot of different systems out there. I'll leave that to the legislature to make that policy choice, and I'll just abide by whatever rule they come up with in terms of running for office. But I think you could come up with good policy arguments for both partisan and nonpartisan.
Talking to Dan Greear, running for Intermediate Court of Appeals Division 2 here in West Virginia. Family law appeals are a big part of the court's docket. Judge, how do you evaluate the cases before you to ultimately find what's best for the children involved in those cases?
Well, quite frankly, this seems a little trite, but we follow the law. Our role is to get to the conclusion that the law dictates, and family law is a significant portion of what we do. It's 26% of our docket, so a little over a fourth of our cases coming in deal with family law. We've issued almost 300 family law decisions, and what we're doing is making sure that the family law judge in the cases before us properly applied the law, mostly statutory in that area, frankly. There's a lot of cases too, but a lot of child custody issues, child support issues, spousal support issues, a lot of those have significant statutory opponents. And quite frankly, how you decide how a case should turn out is based on what the law says. And getting back to an earlier question, you apply the law as it was drafted and as it was intended by the legislature and apply those facts to the situation, and you let that guide you. And that is critical that there's an even, uniform, predictable application of those statutes to the family law situations. And quite frankly, I think the ICA has improved on that tremendously. Under the old system, these appeals went to 75 different circuit courts around the state, and God bless them, they did their best, but a lot of times you might have 75 different answers to the same legal question, and that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it is true there were inconsistent rulings on those legal points, and a child custody issue may be decided differently in Wirt County than it would be in Mingo County, for example. I don't think that's a good system, and I think putting all those appeals into our court and then letting us give those decisions in a way that they're accessible to judges, to lawyers, to the parties themselves, it makes family law more predictable, more transparent, and quite frankly, I think it has improved and will continue to improve the family law system. It's really one of the things I'm really proud about the work we've done at the ICA.
West Virginia Intermediate Court of Appeals Chief Judge Dan Greear. Dan, why should voters support you on May 12th?
Quite frankly, I think we have the track record to show what we've done. You don't have to speculate what kind of judge I will be. I've demonstrated it for 4 years. We've decided a lot of cases. Quite frankly, our record on appeal and our record of the number of our cases that even are appealed is excellent. I think we've contributed, as we said earlier, to speeding up the process in a lot of cases, helping get the backlog off the Supreme Court. We've been in existence for 4 years. We've stayed within the confines of the original fiscal note, which never happens in government programs that are created. So I'm really proud of the work we've done, and I'm running on my record, and would ask voters to consider that and to consider giving me another 10 years to continue doing the job.
Dan Greear, Chief Judge for the West Virginia Intermediate Court of Appeals, running for election in Division 2. Dan, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. You have a good morning.
Absolutely. You as well. We'll get to your phone calls coming up. 800-765-TALK, 304-TALK-304. And the Mountaineers women's basketball team lands a big commit in the transfer portal. We'll get to that right after this. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
In 1914, The same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greear Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greear began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greear Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greear Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
May not feel like it quite yet, but boat weather is right around the corner. It'll be time to get out on the lakes and rivers and enjoy the summer. Well, be prepared by going to check out the entire inventory and great deals on pontoon and fishing boats at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. You can see the entire inventory at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun. Phones are open, 800-765-TALK. You can text the show, 304-TALK-304. Let's go down to Charleston and George. Hey, George, what's on your mind, buddy?
Hey, guys, I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure.
First time, long time. I wanted to I wanted to get your take on something that Chris Pritt said. On one hand, he said that we should, parents should have a real say in how their taxpayer dollars are used in terms of education. But on the other hand, he said that I guess the state should play more of a role in healthcare decisions for their children. I just kind of wondered, I want to get your all's take on that and how. And I don't want you to put words in his mouth, but how do you square that in terms of governing philosophy?
Boy, you ask a loaded question there, George. So the question is, should the state you either have to be all in or all out? Is that your question? I guess when it comes to how much say the state has over education, over choices, let's put it that way.
Over choices, yeah. I don't know if you have to be all in or all out, but I mean, I think I think there is a discrepancy there that needs explored.
Well, George, I would tell you from my perspective, and this is just me speaking here, it's a very unsatisfying answer. You got to find a middle ground if you are a legislator, and your job is to create legislation and public policy that is best for overall. You got to find some sort of middle ground there where we have to have regulations and rules. We have to have vaccine regulations to some degree. We have to have rules about how food is prepared. We have to have rules and standards about how you educate children in the state. At the same time, certainly parents have the right to choose the best education for their children, how they want to vaccinate their children, what they want to eat, all the above. So a very unsatisfying answer, George, but I think you got to find a middle ground. If you're too far one way or the other, you're going to end up with bad policy, in my opinion. TJ, if you'd like to weigh in there as well, but that's where I come from.
Really the rub here, George, what this gets to, we live in a republic. We don't live in a pure democracy. If we lived in a pure democracy, everybody could go out and do whatever they want, however they want, and that's not what our system of law is. We live in a republic where we voluntarily give up some of our freedoms. And that implied social contract is done for the betterment of society. That's why it's important. And that's why in this case about vaccines, no one has said you have to vaccinate your child. The argument is if you want them to go to a public school, you have to vaccinate your child because your right to swing your fist ends at the other guy's nose. That's the vaccine issue. As far as Hope Scholarship, tuition, materials for learning, that kind of thing, I'm good with it. Do we need to be paying for the equestrian lessons like I talked about? Nah, I don't think so. That's how we go broke. My 2 cents.
TJ, I appreciate that, and I see what you're saying, and I think both your responses, there's a lot of validity there. But I feel like, there's so much political philosophy in West Virginia now that it is, parents have all, parents can say whatever, we can say whatever we want about education. Parents, the public support for education should go to a parent so they can make their own decision. I totally respect that. However, I think also there's that healthcare question, especially when we're talking about puberty blockers. And I know that's a completely different discussion, but it's then so many on that side say, well, now the state has to step in and intervene. Parents can't make that choice. And I think there's a real discrepancy there, and I think it's worth exploring. I truly do.
And George, great part is you guys, you the voters, you get to make that decision in a couple of weeks. Hey, George, appreciate you calling in, adding to the discussion today, buddy. Thanks so much.
Hey, you guys have a great day. I appreciate it. Love the show.
You as well. Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College. That includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The deadline to apply is quickly approaching. It is May 3rd. Go to WVMetroNews.com right now. Click the Apply Now button. The West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by Greear Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com. Click the Apply Now button. Deadline to apply is May 3rd.
When it's your family, your kids, your home, your parenting time, you want somebody on the Court of Appeals who lives and breathes family law. Even if you don't win your case, you still should feel that you've been heard. I'm Jim Douglas. I'm a family court judge, and I'm asking you to put real family court experience on the Court of Appeals for your future.
Paid for by the Committee for Family Law Experience for ICA. Susan Shepard, Chair.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Welcome back, class of 2011.
Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it.
Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life.
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Cruise into spring with the West Virginia Lottery's 40th anniversary celebration. There are 40 ways to win 4K and 4 cruise packages up for grabs. Play in-store and online and enter for your chance to win cash or a cruise. Details at wvlottery.com. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Coming up on tomorrow's program, we'll talk to U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito, who is running for re-election to the U.S. Senate. She'll join us on tomorrow's show. For Ethan, Jake, and TJ, it's Dave. I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.